Good morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss about a news item that has been dominating our news circles, which is about Saudi going nuclear with China's help. So, we have seen in the news that Saudi Arabia is being helped by China and IAEA, that is International Atomic Energy Agency, to pursue its commercial nuclear technology aspirations. So, before going forward, let us go back to the past a little and see the background of Saudi Arabia's nuclear ambitions. As we all know that Saudi Arabia is having a very cordial relationship with Pakistan, and we have seen that since 1970s Pakistan is being helped financially by Saudi Arabia to pursue its nuclear power program, that is nuclear weapons program against India, because Saudi Arabia thought that an Islamic country should possess nuclear weapons because it will be in the interest of Islamism or Ummah, that is Islamic community. So Saudi Arabia has been uh, pushing for nuclear technology since 2000s actively. In 2003, Saudi Arabia asked US to share nuclear technology with it, but the US was not too keen to do that. That's why Saudi Arabia approached Pakistan, and in the same year, and we have seen through various reports from German newspapers and even other newspapers that Pakistan has promised Saudi Arabia that it will be helped in with nuclear weapons in case Saudi is attacked with nuclear weapons by any force in the region. So in 2012, China also made a memorandum of understanding with Saudi Arabia that it will help Saudi to explore commercial viability of nuclear technology by 2030. So this China's help is in consonance with the 2012 memorandum uh, that we have just discussed. But let's see why China is doing it at this moment. So why China is helping? The first thing is it is an act of strategic rebalancing by China. You have seen that China has made an arrangement with Iran for a $400 billion agreement through which it aims to secure its energy supplies uh, with Iran, and a similar agreement has been signed with Russia. So just to make sure that Saudi Arabia and the Sunni group does not take it in a wrong faith, China is trying to help Saudi Arabia to pursue its nuclear ambitions. We are assuming that these ambitions will be only in commercial domain or for peaceful technology only, but we cannot ignore the fact that it can also percolate to weaponization of nuclear program. So the first point is about strategic rebalancing. That is a rebalance between Iran, that is Shia Islam, and Sunni Islam with Saudi Arabia. The second one is commercial considerations. China is also exploring that it should become a commercial supplier of nuclear technology to the entire world. So it is making an experiment with Saudi Arabia, and it is trying to showcase its technology to the world that it is also capable of sharing and creating world class infrastructure of nuclear technology. So it will be an extension of Belt and Road Initiative in the nuclear domain. And in the third point, it is about checkmating the Judeo-Christian world. What do you mean by the Judeo-Christian world? It is about U.S. and Israel. Saudi Arabia has, as you may have seen in the past videos that we have discussed on our channel, which is about Abraham Accords. Saudi Arabia and the Sunni world is coming closer to Israel and US. That is the Judeo-Christian world, that is the West. So China is wants to checkmate this Judeo-Christian world's uh, Abraham Accords or their cordial relations uh, by showcasing its helping hand to Saudi Arabia. It wants to prove a point that when no country was willing to help Saudi Arabia with its nuclear ambitions, China was there to help him. So it is a checkmating of the Judeo-Christian world by China, and it wants to be a reliable partner in the region because it will send signals to other Sunni countries and even Shia countries that China is ready to help with nuclear technology, even when the other parts of the world were not willing to help them in this case. Okay, so the fourth point is ensuring a lasting peace. What does that mean? China intends to see that peace should be made permanent in this region, or at least semi permanent, because its supply lines are dependent on a peaceful Western Asia region, or as we call it, Middle East. So, China wants that these two major groups, the Sunni and Shia, both groups should have nuclear weapons because the nuclear weapons act as deterrents. And we have seen in the past when that two nuclear weapon states are not going to fight with each other. So it wants to ensure that a lasting peace is ensured in this region, and for that it wants to help Saudi Arabia to explore commercial, as well as we may also think about it, the weaponization program of nuclear technology. And in the fifth point, as we have discussed earlier, China wants to ensure uninterrupted energy supply lines, because if you want to ensure that uninterrupted oil and hydrocarbons are provided to you, then you have to ensure that a deterrence effect creates peace in the region, and this will help you to secure your energy supply lines, that is your oil and gas, from this region. Because of conflicts, China, rather entire world, even India, has been a little bit in doubt about the viability of energy supply from this region. By securing a peace, even at the cost of nuclear, even if we call it a nuclear peace, China wants to ensure that these energy supply lines are permanently insured for it. Okay, so let's see what will be the implications for this region. This is the implications for this region and the entire world also. So it will kickstart a nuclear arms race. As you know, when one state acquires a nuclear weapon, the other state is bound to reciprocate in the same manner. As in the case of India, when South Asia was a nuclear weapons free region, but when India acquired it, Pakistan was bound to do it, and Pakistan reciprocated in the same manner. So when there has been talks that Iran is pursuing nuclear weapons, Saudi Arabia wants to do the same. But when Saudi Arabia acquires it, it will start a ripple effect, and slowly Turkey will start doing it, exploring nuclear weapons, and so on and so forth. So this nuclear arms race will be a very dreadful development in this region, and it will hurt the long lasting peace that we all want to achieve in this region. Okay, so and the second point is instability and chaos in an already conflict ridden region. Whenever a state acquires nuclear technology, as I said, that it kickstarts a nuclear arms race. When a nuclear arms race will be kickstarted, other states when other states start responding to the same, it will create chaos because these countries are not democracies. As you've seen that Saudi Arabia or even all other UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, these are all not democracies, and any nuclear weapon in possession with these monarchies will not be in the interest of the world community, because they will not, there is a possibility that these nuclear weapons will not be responsibly held, and these nuclear weapons can go into the wrong hands, uh, which takes us to the third point, that the threat of non-state actors possessing nuclear technology. We all know that the non-state actors, that is the terrorists from ISIS to Hezbollah to Hamas and whatnot, they all are present in the region. And as I've said, that once instability kicks in this region, there is a possibility that these non-state actors could get a hold over this nuclear technology, and they will start exploring it for themselves, and that this will be a big blow to the world's fight against terrorism, because then they will be at par with nuclear armed states. Okay, and so the next point of ours is possibility of strategic miscalculation. This strategic miscalculation means, let me tell you with an example, that when the Cuban Missile Crisis, you must have read about it in the world history topic, there was a possibility of a strategic miscalculation from either the US side or the Soviet Union side, and that one strategic miscalculation could have had dreaded consequences for the entire world. If any of that state miscalculates the threat, the incoming threat from the other state, they might launch a nuclear weapon, and that entire region will go down in a matter of few minutes. So this possibility of strategic miscalculation does not limit itself only to this region, but transcends beyond that region. Okay, and the fifth point is threat to energy security of the entire world. Imagine a scenario that once one of the state attacks the another with a nuclear weapon. Imagine the damage it will cause to the hydrocarbon and oil supply chains that are linked or are intertwined with that region. It will cause havoc in the region, and the energy security of entire world will be threatened. Okay, and the last point is end to disarmament objectives. We all are actively moving towards nuclear disarmament goals, but once any of these country acquires nuclear weapon, as we've seen that it will kickstart a nuclear arms race. With this nuclear arms race, the objective of disarmament will run out of the window. So these 6 implications are very important for all of us to remember in case UPSC asks us a question on this development. Now let us see what will be the implications for India. The first implication is threat to Indian diaspora. As we all know that more than 9 million people of Indian origin reside in this area. They earn their living in this area. They work there. So any threat from nuclear weapons will have a direct consequence for India and its people. The second point is energy security. As I've discussed it earlier, the same applies for India also, because we are also intertwined in that oil supply chain, and our energy security is heavily dependent on this region. Okay, threat from non-state actors. You see, Saudi Arabia or Iran or any of these Islamic country, if they acquire nuclear technology and any of that technology gets leaked to the non-state actors. Who are these non-state actors? First of all, we have to understand that these non-state actors are the terrorists that are present in this region. If these terrorists get the nuclear technology, it will be a direct attack on India's security. We will have to face a nuclear armed terrorist group. In case of Afghanistan, uh, we may see a nuclear armed Taliban, or we may see a nuclear armed ISIS, or even we can also see nuclear armed Pakistani terrorist groups such as Lashkar-e-Taiba or Hizbul Mujahideen and whatnot. So this nuclear technology will not be limited to the states in the region, but may also percolate to the non-state actors. There will be a direct threat because of this uh, instability and chaos that this nuclear arms race may cause in that region. The fourth point is difficulty in strategic rebalancing. What do you mean by strategic rebalancing? See, today when we are moving too close to Iran, we balance it out with establishing with establishing good relationships with Sunni world also, like with Saudi Arabia or UAE. So in that way, we make a strategic balance between these two groups. But in case there is a nuclear threat between these two groups, we would be forced to take hard positions, and in that case it will uh, threaten our strategic autonomy that we have maintained since the uh, idea of non-alignment has come to the force. Okay, so this strategic rebalancing will become difficult for us to maintain, but yeah, there is also a positive point you that I want to share. Um, in this case, if Saudi Arabia acquires nuclear weapons with the help of China, it will send a message to Iran that the so-called 400 billion deal that it has signed with China was just a ploy of China to enter into this region and to uh, secure its energy supplies. It will diminish the role of China as a net security provider for Iran. That it currently thinks that China is this, and that Iran currently thinks that this is what China intends to do with Iran. Okay, so it will bring Iran, it will rather awaken Iran to the possibility of a threat from China and its purely commercial considerations while establishing a relationship with a country. You must have read about forces within Iran that are already talking about it. The former president of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, has warned the leadership of Iran to not come too close to China because it is just a transactional relationship, and it and the Ahmadinejad has warned that you cannot rely too much on China at the cost of India, uh, especially India. Right, and let's discuss the last point. It is the parallel power centers independent of India. With the recent uh, strengthening of relationship with UAE and Saudi Arabia, we have seen that India is emerging as a de facto net security provider to these countries. Today, these countries, especially UAE, looks towards India uh, in terms of in terms of providing security to the regime. When each regime in this region will be nuclear powered, or it will possess nuclear arms, the these regimes will have independence in terms of exploring its security objectives. So these parallel power centers will lessen the dependence of these monarchies upon India, which will, uh, you can say, deteriorate India's position with respect to uh, deteriorate India's position in respect of being a net security provider. Okay, so this was our topic for Saudi going nuclear with the help of China. And in case of UPSC asking you a question about that, we have already discussed why China is helping, what will be the implications of it in the region and beyond, and what will be the implications for India in case of a nuclear arms race in this region. So thank you friends. We'll meet with a new topic soon. Until then, have a nice day.